This is perplexing.
Go ahead.
I need an RCD person. Bethany, you want, this little village confuses me. Where do I find Duncan? Is he on the other side or this side?
He is, do you want me to,
That way.
yeah, I'm an extra.
Oh, thank you.
You're a very valuable person. I appreciate.
We'll go ahead and start with welcome and introductions. I will start. I am Philip Simi. I am the OES manager for Trinity County.
Gary Carpenter, Post Mountain.
Josanne Metz, Post Mountain. Bella Headkey, Trinity County Planning, Senior Planner.
Mitchell Wexler, Trinity County Planning, Assistant Planner.
Bill Cox, Board of Supervisors.
Scarlett Fisher, TCRCD.
Kelly Sheen, District Manager for the Trinity County Resource Conservation District.
Miles Raymond, Education Coordinator at TCRCD.
Shane Callahan, Project Coordinator at TCRCD.
Okay, now we go to the big board. I guess we will start with Mary. Oh,
Mary Fleury, Downriver Volunteer Fire Company.
thank you. Ben Kellogg.
Just a citizen interested and former EMT and public safety person.
Thank you. Welcome. Bethany.
Bethany Llewellyn, Trinity County RCD Forest Health Program Manager.
Hey, Adriana.
Adriana Rodriguez, Forest Health Project Coordinator with TCRCD.
Thank you. Tim Ritchie.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tim Ritchie, Fuels Battalion on the Trinity River Management Unit for the Shasta Trinity National Forest.
Thank you. Gina.
Gina Magdaleno, Sonangway Council in Western Trinity County.
Thank you. Larry Glass.
Larry Glass, representing SAFE and a Trinity Collaborative.
Thank you, Larry. Let's see, we've got Gina moving around a little bit. Kenneth.
Kenneth Baldwin, Consulting Forester. I work sometimes with BBW and Associates.
Great, thank you. We have Ren Whitner.
Ren Winter, representing Craw Creek Timber and Trinity River Lumber.
Thank you. Megan.
Hello, I'm Megan Colleen. I'm the Communications Associate for the Watershed Center.
Thank you, Megan. Jerry Cousins.
Hi, everybody. Jerry Cousins. I'm with the Trinity Collaborative.
David Kobeck.
Good afternoon, everybody. David Kolbeck, Trinity County Natural Resources Division.
Is it me? Is this me or is that volume really, really low?
I will work on that on my end.
Okay, I think we're all the way up. Where are we at here? Okay.
85.
Jay Hutchings.
Yes, John Hutchings, United States Bureau of Reclamation. I'm the Regional Wildland Fire Coordinator for California Great Basin region.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
Dan Dogert.
Yeah, my name is Dan Dogert, and I'm an emergency preparedness educator for Northern Valley Catholic Social Services.
Thank you. Xander.
Good afternoon. I'm Xander Winter, Forester with the Watershed Research and Training Center.
You're welcome, Xander. I got to stand up because I can't see it. Let's see, Heidi Carpenter.
Heidi Carpenter Harris, Board of Supervisors, District 4.
Thank you, Heidi. Chris Cole?
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Cole. I'm the district conservationist for the Natural Resource Conservation Service for Trinity County.
You. David Jaramillo?
Hey, afternoon, everybody. Dave Hottameo here, Forester, Cal Fire, Shasta Trinity.
Okay. Yeah, I can't pronounce this. Quaylen. I'm sorry, Quaylen.
All right, it's all right. Good afternoon, everybody. Quaylen Berenson here. Prescribed Fire Program for the Watershed Research and Training Center, and also on the Higham Palm Volunteer Fire Department.
Great, welcome. Thank you. Marie?
Florentina?
Yeah. Marie Florentina? Okay. She may have stepped away.
Sorry, you guys, that took me a second. Hi, I am the owner of Jones Family Tree Service and resident of Burnt Ranch.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I've lost my place. Okay. Jeffrey Churchill?
Hello, nice to meet what? Is it working?
It is.
Nice to meet everybody. Jeff Churchill, working with Willow Creek Fire Safe Council as a contract coordinator. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see. Looks like maybe Daniel Montgomery.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Daniel Montgomery. I work for the Forest Service as a fire prevention technician out of Weaverville.
Thank you and welcome. Did we?
I think that may be.
Is that everybody? Did we miss anybody?
Yeah, I'm here. Gina Moon with the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council.
All right, Gina, thank you for jumping in there.
Yeah, also representing for Salyer, Ambassador, local area advisor.
Okay. All right, item number 2, additions or changes to the agenda. Anybody has anything they would like to change or add to today's agenda? We'll go ahead and I think Scott is working on. Oh, okay.
I don't see any.
Hearing none. And I'm hoping that everybody got a chance to read the minutes. It's not on here, but we have copies of the minutes here in the room too, if anybody wants to see those. You have down here for discussion, Skylar.
Grants? I don't think we have any discussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to number 4, which are grants. Our addition, letter of support of request from TCRCD for proposal for a California Forest and Woodlands Resource Management funding opportunity. And is that Shay that's going to discuss that?
Yeah, so.
You want to come up here and get a little closer to the mic?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So we're trying to apply for a $300,000 grant through BLM to work on some property in the Weaver Community Forest. That's the southern part that BLM owns. It'll be 2 pieces of property. There's the map up. So 2 different areas. One of the areas we want to get funding for NEPA surveys and botanical surveys and arch surveys for that site, so that eventually the implementation can be done. And then for the second area, we want to actually get money for implementation for a hazard tree cleanup, and that's about 100 acres for implementation. Yeah, the first area is about 66 acres, but if there is money for implementation for that area, we would like to also do hazard tree cleanup in that area as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate the council's support to bolster our application for this.
And area 2 is part of its service work post timber harvest, correct?
Yeah.
Because Ordered Mountain timber sale is
Right.
in that unit as well.
Yes.
Okay, well, they are asking for a letter of support from the Fire Safe Council. Do we want to,
Want me to pull up the draft letter?
please?
Happy to.
Did everybody see that?
A message in the chat from Chris Cole with NRCS saying I support this proposal.
Thank you, Chris. Give everybody a couple of minutes just to read through that, and then we'll ask if there is any opposition to our writing this letter of support.
Yeah, I have a question about potential future planning for Area 1. I've walked around and noticed dead tops, dying tops in the Douglas fir that's growing in there, and I'm wondering if there's any sort of proactive management plans that the BLM has to try to prevent mortality within that area, rather than just treating the dead timber.
I'm unaware of any plans right now. Maybe Bethany knows more than me right now, but I don't believe so. I think there's a lot of plans coming up in the Northwest, like California management plan, that they're still trying to get the alternatives agreed upon, because then both of these areas would be in that the WUI category for this for that funding.
Yeah, as far as I know, there's not NEPA for anything in that area currently. So for Area 1, we're looking for funding to support getting NEPA done, and it wouldn't just be for hazard tree removal, it would be for kind of a range of non-merch treatments, not any commercial harvest, but some other fuels treatments. But I'm curious, Mike's with us as well, if he knows anything else about intentions for that parcel. I think it just has pretty much no management currently, so we're trying to get coverage for something in there.
Any other questions regarding the letter of support for this project?
Well, this is Kenneth Baldwin. I've talked with Heidi about this and Jennifer about this for a number of years. This area has got a lot of sapling pole-sized trees that are quite dense, scattered overstory trees, and it's definitely in need of an understory thinning. And up to this point, BLM has not had this as a priority on their projects. So I think I'm talking about Area 1 specifically. So I think this is really a high priority to get work done, because it's below the Timber Ridge subdivision, and it could, if you get a fire in there, it could be quite a.
Thank you, Kenneth. And one more thing I'll say about that is that area has also come up for us because it's pretty much surrounded by areas that we'll be working on as part of that large FEMA funded project. So it's going to be the remaining little triangle in there. So it'd be really great to have NEPA and have more continuous treatment through that area.
Okay, anybody else with any questions before we ask for an approval on this? Okay, hearing none, I think we found that it's easier to ask if anybody has any obligation to this letter of support.
Opposition.
I'm sorry, what did I say? Obligation?
Obligation.
Yeah, does somebody else want to do it? Opposition? I'm fine, really. If anybody has any opposition to Fire Safe Council with this letter of support, please raise your hand. Okay, well, seeing none, we will go ahead and I will sign the letter of support for TCRCD. And on your note here, Skylar, as far as suggestions, part of the project updates. Oh, I see. Okay, I know what you're talking about here. We'll go ahead and go to Fire Safe Council Coordinator update.
Okay, thank you. I have a few updates. Happy New Year, everyone. First Fire Safe Council meeting of the year. That's very exciting. Oh, let me stop sharing this. So as far as what we've been up to between now and the previous meeting, in my last update, I spoke a little bit about how we submitted renewal applications for our Firewise communities. We've since received confirmation that our Firewise communities, all 14 of them, remain to be in good status, so they will continue to be certified into 2024. Planning has continued for the Trinity County Firewise Fair. So initially we were talking that this was going to happen on May 4th, since the first Saturday of May is Wildfire Awareness Day. But we recently found out that May 4th is also going to have a mountain biking summit, career fair, and spring into music. So unless anyone in the group objects, we're thinking of moving it to the next Saturday, May 11th. There's also going to be a fair planning committee meeting this coming Monday. So if anyone is interested in attending, please reach out to me. It's going to be at 3 p.m. In this office and available on Zoom. So things are moving quick on that, and you should expect to see some outreach materials to be on our social media and the journal and flyers around the community before our next Fire Safe Council meeting. We are also going to be having a site tour for the Greater Willow Creek Community Wildfire Defense Grant Project on February 6th, and that will be of the Hawkins Bar project areas. And that will be in the Trinity Village and a project area on Suzy Q. And we're really excited about that too, because we'll be doing that with the Trinity County Resource Conservation District. We'll be doing that with Humboldt County RCD. I believe some representatives from Willow Creek Fire Safe Council will be coming, the Lower Trinity PBA. And we also heard back from Hawkins Bar VFD that they have some community members interested in attending. So we're looking forward to that, and also recording portions of the site visit so we can post that on our social media. So for those of us who are interested in the project, want to learn more, but aren't going on the site tour, hopefully within a week or so after the site tour, we'll have that recording on our page. We are going to start a round of Firewise education lessons at Lewiston Elementary School the same day as that site tour. So that'll be great. That'll be a month-long series of Firewise education lessons that we're doing in partnership with the Lewiston VFD. And we are planning for our community wildfire protection plan community meetings. So there should be outreach for that also coming out before the next Fire Safe Council meeting. We're planning for those to happen between April and August, so this summer and spring. And so far we have 10 community meetings scheduled, but we're waiting to confirm 2 or 3 more communities to make sure that we are hitting all the communities and getting feedback on that plan update. And I think the last 2 more things. We have sent over a draft of the hazard mitigation plan to Cal OES for review. So I'm really hoping, if not by the next meeting, then hopefully by the meeting after that, we will have started the public review period, if not at least received feedback from Cal OES, so that we can enter the public review period soon and get it to the Board of Supervisors for approval. And then truly the last thing is we would like to start not only continuing on with the minutes, but also doing a 1-page minutes condensed sheet to post on our social media. We understand that sometimes folks don't want to read through a 7-page minute document, so we want to kind of get one page, has all like the punchy project updates, and they'll be more accessible for those checking out our Facebook and our newsletter. So I wanted to bring that up to this group in case anybody had any questions or comments on how. Yeah, Jerry?
Oh, thanks, Skylar. On that hazard plan, how long is the public review? What's the time frame for that?
For how many days we're planning to do it?
Yeah, for the public.
We were thinking of doing it for 60 days.
Okay, there's no end date where it has to be submitted. It's just whenever all the obstacles are completed.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking. But yeah, that's what I got, and I can answer any more questions, and I'm open to feedback. The other thing for the public comment for the hazard mitigation plan is even though it's like with Cal OES, like if you have any things that you've been wondering about it or things that you want to make sure are in it, like we are always receiving feedback, even if we're not in that public feedback stage yet. It's always the public feedback stage, so always open to receiving comments or questions.
We never close.
Always open, that's important.
Yeah, it's been with Cal OES for close to 3 weeks now. They have 45 days
Oh, okay.
to do the review, and we haven't heard anything. I'm just gonna ask you, you haven't gotten anything back, so that's a good sign. They'll have it for 45 days and they'll go to FEMA for 45 days.
Okay,
I think if we can get through the first 45 days, we'll be looking real good.
fingers crossed.
Yes, keep moving. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with project updates. We're going to start in the reverse order, but I wanted to ask if there's anybody. We have a lot of people on the call today. If there's anybody that needs to leave early that would like to do their report out before we start down the list.
That actually would help if I could do mine early for the Bureau of Reclamation.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so first we have a small vegetation management project ongoing at Trinity Dam, mostly a dam safety project, but we had a slide there a number of years ago that resulted in a lot of downed and dead material on the groin of the dams. We have CAL FIRE crews out there removing vegetation and looking to do some pile burning once we get the appropriate permit from the Air Quality Management District. But other than that, Bethany will probably speak to more detail about it, but I'm working with Bethany and the RCD on the CAL FIRE Forest Health Protection Grant to address fields management on reclamation lands in the community of Lewiston. So my understanding is the grant funding has been awarded for that project. We are waiting on the environmental compliance to be completed before we can implement that project. So that's something I'm working on right now, is getting all of the regulatory compliance out of the way so we can implement that project. So I'll keep you all updated on the status of that at future meetings, but not allowed to report out yet. But other than that, we're making small steps forward. That's all I've got right now, unless there's questions.
No question. Any questions for Bureau of Reclamation?
This is Deborah from North Coast Air Quality. I wanted to let John know that I sent that smoke management plan out to him yesterday. So it's been approved, and if he has any questions, he can give me a call. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and start with the list. We're going to go backwards this time. So we've got Xander and Quaylen both on this call. Xander, do you have a report out?
Yeah, brief one. We are in the middle of doing our seasonal hiring right now to gear up for summer work. Part of that work will be beginning the planning and compliance for the forest health and rumored CWDG funding we have for the High and Palm community. So we'll be hopefully getting that compliance completed by the end of this year. The Bowerman project, we're essentially at the point where our specialists reports and all the technical info are getting sent to the Forest Service for their review before hopefully the NEPA will get signed on that. And then there's a new grant opportunity, I believe, that we are pursuing, and that's through the national it's the WIF grant that is targeting larger landscape scale projects. And so we're looking to do some work around the county through that if we're successful. So that's, I think, everything I had to update, unless folks have questions for me.
Any questions for Xander? Okay, so we also have Megan and Quaylen. Do either of you want to do any addition to that report out?
Yeah, this is Quaylen here. Just to add to that, thanks, Xander. In the prescribed fire program world, we're continuing looking for burn windows this coming spring, primarily continuing on private land in the Weaver Basin area on Jackass Ridge. We also have some RAC funding, which we're looking to move forward on implementation on building, we're starting the seeds for prescribed burn associations in various communities, including Burnt Ranch, Douglas City, and Hayfork, as well as 2 more around Trinity County. And we'll be reaching out to folks for local community connections and places to get together to have initial meetings to start the PBA formation in these communities.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions for Quaylen? Now, I think Megan, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Sure. I'm just really looking forward to helping plan the Firewise Fair in May. I think that'll be great. The Watershed Center is also responsible for that single track summit and the career fair, which I'm also helping with. So strongly in favor of moving it to May 11th. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun too. Looking forward to training to be a firefighter type 2 this spring with the Watershed Center, so that I'll someday be properly qualified to join a PBA in the future. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, Willow Creek Fire Safe Council.
Hello again. Happy to report the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council finished and completed our community Firewise certification. We did very well on our in-kind hours. Our volunteer investments brought in $44,607.11, 27,865 over what they expected or required. So we do have that certificate in place, and that is, of course, for the Willow Creek within that fire district. So that's pretty exciting. We saved the date for May 18th is Firewise Day Fair at the park. And we're looking at a few different things, trying to meet our deliverables underneath of the CWDG grant from Humboldt County. We have a few other, they're going to call them Firewise events, but we'll figure out where the May 18th is for sure date. And then there's a lot going on there, like Skylar mentioned, the field tours within our polygons. So the Fire Safe Council also has been building our crew capacity up. Looking ahead on our successional planning, we acquired a what do you call it, HAF grant, Humboldt Area Foundation, and brought on a grant administrative coordinator That's amazing. That is going to help us out tremendously. And so just in the month that she's been on, and that is Sophia Sadie, you'll start to hear her name hopefully a lot more. And we are blessed. I'm very thankful. So along with that, we do have a coordinator in place for our Humboldt County CWDG. We have our existing coordinator, Jeffrey Churchill, for our storm recovery that is still ongoing. We're really close to wrapping that up. It's looking good. And so our new officers, as of January, we voted around the new president is Barbara Darst, and the vice president is Jim Cotton. So myself, I am no longer a president or a director. So I've got to wait another year. I did my 4 years as a director and 2 some as the president. So I'm still here. And looking at some other good things we have going on is our website, trying to keep that up. And if you guys want to look at it, it's wcfiresafe.org, and trying to convert over everything to our .org, and just moving along and stepping out in that direction, and happy to be part of the team. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Great report out. Congratulations on all that.
Yeah, no questions, I guess.
That's always a good sign. Okay.
Does Dina have anything to add to that?
I'm not, I didn't see her. Where's she
Or
at?
is she, I don't remember who she represents.
The wrong way.
Okay.
I'm down.
Oh, there you
later.
are.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay. Weaverville Volunteer Fire Department. No, we didn't have. Yeah, anybody? Okay. U.S. Forest Service, Six Rivers National Forest. No report. U.S. Forest Service, Shasta Trinity National Forest. We had somebody from the Forest Service.
Tim.
There we go.
Good afternoon once again, everybody. So we are starting to get our funding allocation coming in for the Trinity Wildfire Crisis Landscape. We received around 40% of what we requested this year. But it's still split between the Six Rivers and the Shasta Trinity. We're still looking at about $26 million that we received for this year. Right before this meeting, we started working through some of the priority projects, what it's going to take to fund those, if the numbers are still good. And so that's going to be an ongoing project, probably through the beginning of March, when we have to have all of our contracts submitted. Priority projects in there, the Bowerman Cooperative Fuel Breaks Project, Trinity Community Defense, so PrEP and prescribed fire projects, getting those implemented, and then the pilot project. Those are the top 3 projects for the west side of the Shasta Trinity. There's a couple of other things in there. Our prevention group is going to get about $80,000 for messaging, some new signage, and really helping with getting the word out on why this work in the landscape is so important. So a lot of stuff going on there. On the implementation side, we're going to continue burning out in Denny. We have I think by the end of today, they're having a good day. We might only have about 30 acres of work left to do on Denny Road, which is great. That has been a long-term project. Just fires and COVID and everything has really prevented us from being out there and completing that project. And once we're complete with that project, we're going to move back into the Weaverville Community Forest, and we have around 130 acres of piles to burn up on Glennison Gap. And maybe for the first time I can ever say it, if we complete those 2 projects, we won't have any piles that are available to burn on the landscape. So we're really having a big year in prescribed fire, making some good headway going into next year's work. Does anybody have any questions?
Tim, do you have any word about the time frame for the decision on the Weaverville Community Forest Fuels and Recreation Phase 2 decision?
Every time I ask, it seems like the answer's hopefully by the end of the month. And I've been asking since July last year.
You didn't ask which month.
So
Fair
at
enough.
this point, it truly is. We are truly closing in on it. I've started working on the prescribed fire plan for the units that we are going to make a high priority for this spring. If the decision is signed and the burn plan is complete, we're going to look at burning up in those original Browns Phase 1 unit that we tend to do the field trips to, getting back into there. I did ask Tara just the other day, and I think she believed that there was potential that it would be signed by the middle of February.
Great. So for those units that you were referring to, that'd be for broadcast burns in those Browns
Yes.
Phase 1?
Yeah. So the original treatment on those Phase 1 units, the timber harvest occurred in 2011. 2016, we did our first jackpot burn in there, and now we're into the maintenance burn phase. So we're kind of following that every 5 to 7 year cycle for those entries. Also, additional added to the wildfire crisis funding, a lot of the money that we know we're going to pass through to partners that was awarded as well. So some of the Weaverville community forest work that the RCD and the Forest Service has talked about doing, there was some money in there for that. Money tied to work around Junction City for getting some NEPA developed in those areas, and also around Hayfork. So some of that planning money is also included into the money that was allocated to us.
Great. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Okay, UC Cooperative.
I don't know if Ruth got an update, or is she not on anymore?
Anybody from the UC Cooperative Extension?
No.
No, okay. All right, I struggle with
What
this.
was?
Esperance?
Okay.
Do you have any updates, Ruth?
From Shasta T.
No, I really don't. Thanks.
Right. Oh. Sorry for putting you on the spot.
Okay,
Sonung.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Dina.
Dana?
Sonungway. Dina Magdalena.
Yes.
There she is.
We have a couple of things to share with you. The first and foremost is late last fall, the Forest Service with tribal monitor went up and cleaned up at where the lookout was on Ironside. So that's been cleaned up and all the hazard waste is gone. And there's been no discussion of what comes next. Also, we have been working on we have a MOU in place with Shasta Trinity National Forest, and both Shasta Trinity and Six Rivers have agreed that what would be benefit both forests and our tribe would be a joint MOU between all of us. And we have been working on that, and California Indian Legal Services has been advising us. And one of the things that our tribe is excited to add to the MOU is, rather than just focusing on the 106 requirements, which are protecting cultural resources, that there's a piece in the MOU about 110, which is entering more cooperative agreements with the forests and between the forest and the tribe. And we're looking forward to having that kind of a cooperative relationship develop more with both of our forests. And I also along with Gina, am one of the ambassadors in this area. I live in the Trinity Village, and in addition to being an ambassador for South Fork Road, I am also ambassador for one of the streets here in the village. And so I have input from our community here for Skylar and the folks when they come. And I'm really happy to learn that the village fire department is having representatives attend the meeting. So to date, they haven't attended any of these CWDG meetings. And so, you know, what the plan is for the village area is pretty much wide open, and we're primed for fire here. So having that opportunity to make our community safer from fire in the future is something that, as an ambassador, I'm really looking forward to for all of us. It's good news to hear about Burnt Ranch developing its own PBA, because they're on the fringe, like right on the edge of everybody. And we've included them in the Lower Trinity PBA, but having some people from their community focused on wildfire will be a real plus for our community here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dina?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. If I could, Dina, this is Jill Cox. I just want to say thank you to you for your work and this addition to your MOU with the leaning into more cooperative agreements. Just on the county's behalf, I just want to say thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody from Trinity PUD? Let's see. Okay. Trinity County RCD. Who wants to start?
Bethany, you want to hop in there?
Sure, I can start. First, we put in a grant ask for the CAL FIRE Forest Health funding opportunity, which was due in mid-January. We did send out a letter of support via email, but it wasn't ready in time to make it to the last Fire Safe Council meeting. So I want to thank anyone who took the time to review that. That request was for about $6 million for some of the implementation on Bowerman and on Trinity camps, as well as some private land in the North Lake. And it was in partnership with SPI, Watershed Center, the Neural-McWintu Tribe, and the Forest Service. So thanks to everyone that collaborated with me on that. We are still staffed with 8 fuels technicians who are doing some manual fuels reduction work in the Weaver Basin this winter, and also as much burning as we can to support federal partners. We've been burning primarily with BLM, but waiting for things to dry out a little bit right now. And we'll be doing our seasonal hiring starting in February for bringing on 8 more fuels techs, although some of them are returning, and then also hiring at least 4 forestry technicians. That's about it for me.
Anything to add, Adriana?
No, Bethany got most of the department's updates. Yep, just getting this grant in for those WCF areas on BLM and hiring some forestry technicians very soon.
I guess the only other
No, I'm good. You for me. Thank you. Thank you for this.
all right. The only thing that I wanted to touch on a little bit more that Xander brought up was that we were partnering with the Watershed Research and Training Center on a fairly significant National Fish and Wildlife Foundation grant that has to do specifically with watersheds affected by big fires in the past few years. And in particular, this NIFWIF has to do, there's a couple of pieces to it, I guess, and I haven't quite sussed out exactly how the breakdown worked, but the crux of it is that we were seeking fairly significant amounts of funding, up to $15 million through this ask to do large scale watershed restoration on, in particular, the upper Trinity River watershed, as it was impacted by the river complex. And so there was a pre-proposal that was submitted last week, and we anticipate hearing back. This particular ask was a total of $50 million, 5 awards, anywhere from $5 million to $15 million. In one of, in any one of 7 different priority impacted watersheds, and we think we have a pretty good chance of moving that proposal forward to a full proposal with budgeting. And this would be work for fuels reduction work, reforestation work, roads work, water quality, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of a multidisciplinary offering, and would allow for a fairly robust restoration effort to go on. And so it was broken out into 2 pieces, and my understanding was that one is for the upper Trinity, and then there was also one that was for downriver, anywhere from like basically Junction City down to close to Willow Creek. So I haven't seen all the details of that pre-proposal, but we'll report out more on that as that progresses. And that would be my end of my report.
What do you expect to hear?
They're expecting to hear, we're like with official word supposed to come down in mid-February. But we're kind of anticipating that with the complexity of that ask, that we're kind of going to proceed with beginning the preparation of the proposal itself and the budgeting process now, because we have a pretty good feeling that it's going to move forward to the proposal phase.
That's being positive.
Yes, that's right. We are being very optimistic and positive about our prospects.
Not opposition.
Not or obligation.
Knew it was one of those. Okay, planning.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
We've got a few updates. Bella Headkey, Senior Planner, Trinity County Planning Department, or Planning Division now. One being that we have a senior planner as of last month. So I'm trying to set to have a staff member here at these meetings to help out with county coordination for planning. One update is the general plan. The community plan workshops are going to start on March 4th and 5th in Weaverville, Junction City, Douglas City, and Lewiston. That's the first round of community workshops. The dates and locations are not yet set because the consultants are still setting the venues right now. Just a general announcement too, if you want to get added to the e-blast list, sign up on trinitycounty2050.com, and you can also submit comments at any time. The other, or I guess I could pause there if there's any questions, because I've got other subjects too.
Anything on the general plan?
Yeah, which communities again?
Weaverville, Junction City, Douglas City, and Lewiston.
Perfect.
No questions. I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is limited density rural dwelling. There's an proposed ordinance amendment going to the Planning Commission on February 8th at the request of Supervisor Dan Frazier. Comments from agencies are due by the end of the week. Staff reports for the item will be out Friday of next week. One comment that has been going around in discussion because of these comments, or one question, is whether Class K structures have to adhere to the fire safe ordinance, and they do indeed need to adhere to the fire safe ordinance. That's section 830 of Trinity County Code. So I will be, we received comments already, so I'll be responding to those in the staff report. If there's anything else on that.
That planning commission date was what again?
February 8th. And then it'll go to the Board of Supervisors for 2 readings after that. Proposed date for that is March 5th, but that may move depending on what happens at the February 8th meeting. And any questions on that? And let's see. Yeah, no, that's my only updates, and we're hoping to be here more frequently and be available to people for topics that relate to planning and fire.
Did you receive the letter from the fire chief?
Yes.
Chris Cole has a question.
Hey, thanks for being here. I was just hoping you could give me, and I think other people might benefit as well, like kind of a rundown on what the planning department covers versus, the building department, and I don't know, there's lots of departments. So like what would be in your kind of purview?
Planning oversees a land use regulation and other special development projects within the county, unincorporated county. If you have any more specific questions, I'm here, or you can also always email me. Planning is tasked with a very large duty in the community, and we've been historically understaffed. So I'm trying to build out staffing this year, remaining hopeful, but we'll see what happens throughout the fiscal.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Any other questions for Bella? Anything else from planning?
Nope, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Trinity County OES, me. Okay, so OES, let's see, let me go a couple of notes. Just writing, doing our Homeland Security grant for fiscal year 24, creating projects with that. That'll come, basically be able to be funded this time next year. So trying to get grant ideas, or I'm sorry, project ideas. A lot of that grant is geared towards law enforcement, 35% of it. So we're really pushing a lot of projects towards education and training for officers, for like domestic extremism, different types of national priorities that they're requiring us to spend money on, election security. Communication is always a big one, so we've got some communication projects that we've added in there too. And speaking of communication, I've been working with Post Mountain and with the fire department, with Astrid and Peter up there. We're hoping to, we got the money to do the GMRS radio project for Post Mountain. It's kind of a pilot program that we want to do this in a lot of the outlying communities. It's basically like a ham radio type system that they don't have to have ham radio licenses. They can literally get a license from the FCC just by paying a small fee. And it's a great backup community, a communication program. We're working with the Trinity County Amateur Radio Club on that. We're going to start off with a kind of an educational meeting with the community there to make them understand, or have them ask questions, but so they understand what this program is, how they can use it, to their benefit, and really bring them more into our community. A lot of comments from the Hmong community is that they kind of feel like they're an outsider, and so talking with the fire chief Astrid yesterday at length, really want to bring them and rebuild that community with them and with Trinity County, and show them that we're there to help them and to give them tools to, you know, and protect their properties. So working on just a community meeting to start with, and then we'll look at the layout of the equipment that we need. And as families start getting a license, one license will cover the entire family. We'll provide them with a free radio until, you know, as many as radios that we can hand out. Another project that we're working on right now, we just finalized, is animal rescue here in Trinity County has struggled to evacuate animals because their trailer is so large and so heavy that the equipment that they have, they can't readily just grab that trailer and go out. So we wrote into one of our emergency management grants to purchase them. They've been doing a fundraiser to try and raise money for this trailer. And when I saw that at one of their bake sales, I just said, I can buy that for you. So through our Homeland Security or emergency management grant, we were able to modify that and be able to find the revenue to purchase them a brand new animal rescue trailer. And then we're meeting, Leroy from Hayfork Fire and I are meeting with Department of Fish and Wildlife next month to discuss a second spill trailer. We have one that Weaverville Fire applied for a grant and received a spill trailer for this area, but we're so broad that we felt that we could really use a second trailer in Southern Trinity. So I reached out to them. They agreed. We filled out the grant. They're coming to do the survey, and then they'll decide if we get those funds to purchase a second spill trailer for any kind of chemical spill, but mostly fuel spills, you know, vehicle accidents and fuel spills to protect those waterways. Other than that, that's about all I have, unless anybody has any questions for, oh, yes.
I wanted to just add that that Post Mountain has a community plan, so pay attention to that as that develops.
Okay, thank you. Trinity County Collaborative Group.
Hi, this is Jerry. I'd like to just report out on one of the projects. The collaborative has wrapped their arms around wildfire cameras for the county. And right now, there's just 2 in the whole county, so not a whole lot of a view of what's going on. We now know there was a meeting yesterday, and we went into that meeting believing that there are 6 cameras committed to through PG&E. The first 2 with Velocity downriver on Horse Mountain and Bald Hill. And then there's 4 others that were on the list. There have been applications for these cameras sitting around for several years, and they've just been found and they're moving forward, we believe. And that would be Pickett Peak and Lime Dyke, Bear Mountain, and Knob Peak. And then, so we went into yesterday's meeting thinking we're going to be getting 6 cameras. 2 would be this year and 4 next year. And then our consultant person who works with PG&E, who's the IT guy, came in and said PG&E has now agreed to fund 12 additional cameras in the county. So that's a total of 18 wildfire cameras happening. We are waiting for maps, and we're going to kind of go over, prioritize all of these additional sites. Now, please take what I say with a large grain of salt, because we're dealing with PG&E and Forest Service and lots of institutions. So it sounds really good today, and it sounded good yesterday, but don't know about tomorrow. But we're looking with a positive attitude. The other nice thing is that Tara from the Forest Service agreed to include potential camera sites in any projects that she is developing, so that their NEPA will also include the NEPA for any camera sites, which we hope will spring the motion ahead. I think that's it. There were some other people at that meeting if they want to jump in and any other updates.
Jerry, I'd just add that after that meeting, I did compile all the the previous, materials, the list of 21 prioritized sites in the county, a map that Travis Finch had originally put together that had some level of view shed analysis on that particular map, as well as a few other like white paper and thing like that. So I pulled all that stuff together. It's my intention to try to get that out to that ad hoc committee tomorrow, as well as a few other people that have requested information about that, including Jill and a number of other people from the county. So that should be going out by tomorrow morning.
Nice work, Kelly. Yeah, please do share. And just for everybody's understanding, the cameras range in cost for installation and the camera anywhere from $20,000 to just north of $50,000. The expensive ones are for the standalone with solar array, no hardwire infrastructure. And then there's an additional, depending on the number of cameras, $1,200 to $1,500 a month service fee forever. So it's an investment.
But PG is covering some of that or all of that monthly fee, right?
At this moment, PG&E is covering all of it for the first 20 or 21 cameras.
This is Larry Glass. I just wanted to add that the map that they put up towards the end of the meeting yesterday that had some of the specific proposed sites would really offer us some pretty good coverage of the majority of the county. So it's encouraging.
Yeah.
And these are like 360 cameras. So some of the ones that are on the fringes, it would actually be covering down into, say, the downriver area and into Humboldt, as well as over into Shasta and Tehama counties as well.
Yeah, and probably north too, a bit. So,
yep.
Yeah, it'd be great coverage.
And it was made clear as well that even though we have to pay for 12 months of coverage, the monthly fees, or thank you PG&E for picking up that tab, it can be utilized for anything. So search and rescue needs to find somebody. Those cameras are able to serve us for anything we want to look at. Cool. Be helpful.
We have a comment from Ben Kellogg that says, as a citizen, I would be willing to mount a camera or mini radio repeater site covering the 299/Weaver Valley area if the need was there for a site location.
Great, thanks. Well, as we look at the potential new sites, we'll keep all of those resources on the list. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. All right. Anything else from the collaborative?
I think that's a highlight.
Yeah, it was a great meeting yesterday. Everybody was really surprised. We got that report from PG&E.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were all glad we were sitting down.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still a little shocked. Okay. Trinity County Board of Supervisors will start in the room with Jill.
I don't have anything particular.
Nothing to report. Heidi?
Hi, nothing really to report. I just want to express my enthusiasm and excitement for the fuels reduction work that's going to be occurring down in District 4 in the Burnt Ranch, Salyer, Hawkins Bar area. It's been a long time coming, and I'm super grateful for what's coming down the road to us. So looking forward to supporting that in every way that I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. And going back to the GMRS program, I'm looking at your area down there as our next community to kind of start researching and see what we can build, because you guys seem to be the first ones to lose communication. So expect to hear a lot from me, in the next few months, and doing some research on that.
Perfect. I don't know that we can lose communication when we don't have any. Frontier.
We're gonna get you some then.
Frontier is still delightfully unavailable. It's just a continuing challenge. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, maybe someday. Thank you.
we fought that and that was a losing battle from the beginning. It's probably hoping that it go further. Okay, I don't believe anybody from Trinity
Can I
Center.
address that also?
Sorry, go ahead, Dina.
One of the things that I want to bring to the front of people's mind again is we receive no cell service. There is no cell service. And there are people who have had serious medical issues on Hennessy Road the entire month of December. And what we have to do if we want to receive cell service is go to Willow Creek, where we can hitchhike on Dream Quest or the Open Door Clinic, or if we go to the passing lane just before you get to Willow Creek, you can get cell service. So it's not just that we don't have landlines, we don't have cell service either. And the one thing we do have is Wi-Fi, and fiber optic line that's going through there's no intention of providing any service to anyone in any of these communities down here on that fiber optic station. So there's lots of possibility for improvement, but none of them appear. And it is really critical here. There are people that live across the road from me who are very elderly, and when the lights go out and they want to know what's going on, they walk across the road and ask us what's going on because they know I have Wi-Fi and a generator. So it gets dire fast here, and I appreciate the fact that we're next on the list.
Well,
Okay.
say, I'm
It's
gonna
in Burbank.
do what I can for that. I know that there was some talk on one of the other committees that I'm a part of about Verizon putting up another tower, but I'm not sure if that was North County. But I will follow up on that because we're still trying to work with some of those partners to see if we can't get better service down your way. And I'll see what I can find out before the next meeting and report back to you, Dina. But I'll definitely stay in touch with you, and if I hear any more, and with you and Heidi.
I'd follow up with planning if you can after this for cell towers, and then I'll raise this issue also to Ed Presley, the Director of Community Development Services, because we're developing and working on grants for similar things right now.
Yeah, there was some talk, and I don't know if it was
I don't know the details, so
if it was through Travis. Travis Finch. I can't remember who brought it up at one of the meetings, but I got to go back. I'll go back and look at my notes and find out what was going on with some more cell towers. So do we Trinity Center volunteer part of? I know Carol's not here. If anybody stepped in her place, but I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll say, moving on. Anybody from Tehama Glen Fire Safe Council? No. SPI? No. Southern Trinity Fire Safe Council? Okay. Larry, with SAFE.
I would just add to what Jerry's already talked about with the fire cameras. That's real important to us. But we have a number of fuel reduction projects in the planning and environmental documentation stages. So there's about a half a dozen of them that we're tracking, but nothing until we get some sort of document out. We have sort of nothing new to report. We've got the pilot project that we've been working on for almost a decade that looks like maybe it's going to happen. I think we heard a pledge that it would get sold this fiscal year, but hold my breath on that one. Thank you.
That was my recollection too, Larry.
Okay, Chris with NRCS.
Hey, afternoon again. Yeah, not a whole lot to report. We're just continuing to plan and help folks through implementation on the projects that are already out. We got some stuff in the Weaverville area, new things coming, just generally smaller projects like 10 acres or so, and then some stuff in Coffee Creek that we're pretty excited about. We've kind of finalized an agreement with the Watershed Center, and they're going to help us with some forestry, like technical assistance. So if you or anybody you know has any kind of concerns on their land, whether it's, sediment getting into a creek or, fire danger stuff, definitely call us and we can come take a look, and maybe our program will work for you, or maybe we could just give you some advice. So always our doors open, and I can put my contact info in the chat if anybody ever needs to reach out. So that's it for me. Thanks.
All right, Chris, thank you. Nora, when to? See you there. Air quality management.
Deborah's still on.
Is she?
I'm here.
Are?
Good afternoon, folks. Really good to hear all the projects and everything happening over there. The only really update that I really have for the group is that wanted to let you know that the district recently updated the burn barrel exemption program, which we're required to do every 10 years. The district is one of the few districts that allow burn barrel use in specific areas. We reached out to the fire departments in all 3 counties to get their buy-in whether or not they wanted the burn barrel exemption. And then we took the census data and determined which areas complied. And then those areas that would be exempt, we had to get a buy-in from the volunteer fire departments. Some areas lost their burn barrel exemption because the fire departments did not want it. I just wanted to let you guys know that there are a couple of fire districts over in your area that did lose their burn barrel exemption. And so if you have any questions or have any anyone in the public that is asking about that, please feel free to direct them to me. We won't have to do that for another 10 years. It's quite a process, but those areas that have exemptions now should be good for another 10 years. Next month, I'll start gearing up for wildfire season. Right now, we're in burn permit renewal season. And smoke management plan world, I'm getting a lot of plans out. November and December was crazy, so I'm a little behind the 8 ball, but I'm trying to keep up with everybody. Projects are coming in heavy, and I'm really encouraged by what's getting done out there. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Deborah, is it easy to track down the information about where burn barrel use is applicable or not on your website, or where can the public find that information?
We don't have it on our website. We do have it established by zip code. That is the method that the state we set aside when we first asked for the exemption. And it was determined by census information and zip code, and then the fire department input. We don't have anything on the website, but I could see if I could track down and have something put up there. Right now, the exemption is put on each burn permit that's sold.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deborah?
Yes.
Okay. The Lower Trinity Prescribed Burn Association. And High Pond Fire Safe Council. Anybody from Caltrans? Cal Fire? Didn't see anybody.
Hey, afternoon, everybody. Dave Automir here again. Not much to report for CAL FIRE. We just closed the grant season. For Shasta Trinity, there was quite a bit of outreach that folks were interested in grants. So I'm not sure how many folks actually applied for grants yet. But I know that we had quite a bit of interest. So hopefully Trinity County gets some of that funding. Other than that, we're just continuing to prep at the Big Creek VTP in Hayfork, cutting and piling and just getting ready for burning out there.
Okay, any questions for David? Okay, hearing none. Bureau of Land Management.
Mike Allen from the Reading BLM office. Had some technical issues earlier, so I missed kind of the first half of the meeting. But not much to report. We're pushed the brakes on the burning of piles, just a little too wet. A lot of effort for not a lot of acreage. So we're just kind of holding off on there for a little bit. We'll be pick up burning as soon as we get some drying weather and continue in the Little Browns Creek, Reading Indian Creek area and pushing forward from that. Other than that, the Weaverville Community Forest project there has started. It's about a 97-acre project of thinning. Put out a press release with the community forest folks there. So that's up and running, and I'll be checking on them periodically to make sure that they're staying within the specs, which I think they will be. And then just making us push forward in the Reading Indian Creek expansion. That's moving forward. So hopefully that will all pan out soon enough. If you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Michael?
Mike, it was my understanding that just for the sake of the public good, there was some interest in when the piles along Old Lewiston Road and Rush Creek and stuff were going to be dealt with. Is that what you were referring to as far as upcoming work once things start to dry out?
Yeah, we still have a few piles left over in the Lewiston area right off Rush Creek. We had been burning there. They did have some down trees, so we saved a few piles to go back in there and cut those trees and add on to them so they have a good base for burning. Those are still on the plan. We did have some other piles, some machine piles in the Salt Creek area there in Lewiston. We've been burning those. They've just been taking a little bit longer to burn down. They're machine piles. They have a lot more heavier rounds. So again, it was a lot of effort for not good consumption. So we pumped the brakes there as well. But those, I believe, are the last piles in Lewiston. Not too many there, only a few acres left. And then we should be out of Lewiston as pile wise goes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's for the list. Anybody else online that would like to report out to the committee? Seeing no hands raised.
Well,
Yep.
well, this is.
Go ahead, Ken.
This is Kenneth Baldwin. I can tell you something about the North Lake, the volunteer fire department up there in Trinity Center. We being Mark Lancaster, Carol Fall, and myself, have been working on a vegetation management plan and a wildfire response plan. And at this point, Denise Wesley has put together a great set of maps covering the community services district area and mapping all the projects that have been approved and are planned and potential. And as soon as Carol gets back from her trip, she's going to go over and finalize, make sure everything is correct on those, and then we will be able to proceed. So that was one thing. if Gina Moon is still on there, I want to ask her whether she ever was able to download the Downriver Fire Plan and whether she has found that at all useful.
Yes. It is in the filing system. It's very useful. I'm not sure if we'd look at maybe revising it at some point in time. We're, since we're going into that area for a couple different reasons. Would definitely like to touch bases with you again. I don't think we have a hard copy here in the office. It seems to be missing, but I know it's online.
Well, maybe I can get you a hard copy. I'll talk with RCD about that.
Sounds great.
Okay, and then one other thing, I'm still trying to get funding for Bob Puga down on the Heller High Water Ranch south of Kettenpalm. He had 85% of that forest on that ranch totally burned up in the August fire, and he's trying to get some funding now through NRCS, but that's only going to be a drop in the bucket considering the number of acres that he has to do. He's done some falling of hazard trees along county roads and along Kettenpalm Creek. Needs to still do some cleanup there. So if anyone is up for helping put together a forest health proposal to CAL FIRE to get significant money for him, it would be great, and you could contact me about that.
Okay, end of your report, Kenneth?
That's it.
All right.
That's all.
Thank you. Anybody else online? Anybody else in the room? Good. Okay. Any future discussion items that we'd like to see brought up? No? Okay. Well, if there is nothing else, I will say that this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you guys very much, all of you that joined us online. Great turnout and great report outs. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, writer's cramp.
Thank you.